Well, gentlemen, this is the new tradition. You got to pick a cup. We're going to get weird cups in here. Cheers.
I got the Viking
I got some
Jim
also-
Beam barrel. Yeah, you got the revolver?
Yeah. The American revolver. Might as well.
Are you going to keep adding to these and just finding them at weird places?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to get some weird ones.
Sweet.
We're gonna get you're gonna get some weird ones.
Yeah, no, these are real normal.
Okay, I like the size.
So what's up, boys? Caleb Tennant, thanks for joining us, man. We had a last-minute cancellation, so I appreciate you
Oh, there
jumping
we
in.
go. Glad I could jump in as a second call. Glad I
Of
could make
course.
it.
Ping was
We've talked about having you on. We had Louch on, but I was like, we got to tone down the South African once in a while.
Okay.
A little bit.
can't have three of them in the same room.
I think
That would actually be that would be a
All hell
hilarious
breaks
podcast.
loose.
Yeah, I think something happens in the universe when three of you guys get together. Especially you
It's always
three.
a great time. We should definitely have had a show with some of the adventures with the three of us together. It would be a good one.
Yeah. there's some
Speaking
stories.
of, was it you that tell me Albie took a beater?
What?
Albie had a big crash, I guess. He hurt himself pretty
Oh,
bad.
when he was, I knew he was going to go to South Africa to visit his dad because his dad is not doing so
doing
great, getting a
great.
little old. But maybe that's why I haven't heard from him in the last month.
Yeah, we should probably check in on our guy.
Well, yeah.
I heard it was
I did see him at Fox a few weeks ago, but I don't know. It was maybe within a month ago. He was riding a Suzuki there. So I mean, I saw he was back riding a little bit. So, but I haven't heard of anything.
yeah, someone said like ribs and
Oh shame, man.
he had a big one.
I'll give him a call after this.
Dude, it's weird. Every time I rode yesterday for the first day and first time in 3 months, and dude, it's so funny. When I used to ride, I used to have no fear. Now when I ride, dude, I'm just like, dude, I don't want to crash hard. It's the first thing in my mind.
We were talking about it because, was it the last show, the previous one, we had Rhino, and Rhino broke his back. Brownie broke his, a lot. I mean, they both got pretty beat up.
Yeah.
And those were two guys I battled with. And then all of a sudden it gets in your head because you're like, these are world-class riders. It's got nothing to do with your riding ability even. You could be a beginner or a former champion. The odds, anytime you throw your leg over the bike, there's a risk.
Yeah.
And I totally relate with that because when I go riding, I usually go with my son and some buddies, and I'm just thinking the vet track has become more and more appealing because I'm lower to the ground.
I know.
When I come up on slower guys, I give them a lot of room. I back off. I'm just here to burn a few calories and clear the mind. A good day's riding is when I can load my own bike up and go home.
Yeah, you start just thinking, weighing it out every time you go out, huh? Whether the risk is worth it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's good because, I always take some stuff that, when I'm back on the bike, I remind myself of things, especially with coaching with my riders. And sometimes it's good to ride with them, but it's so crazy how before when I raced, even when I came back from injuries and stuff, nothing was in my head of that what if I get hurt, what if I crash? And now I'm dude, this, just a couple moments and, a few little things happen. I'm like, dude, if I just crash there, oh my goodness, this would be bad. Before I just brush it off in a split second, it wouldn't even matter.
I know. I always puts pressure on my mechanics at the dealership because I bring in my bike and I'm like, if anything happens and I get hurt, you're responsible.
You're
You
fired.
can just see the look on their face oh, shit.
No,
Double
I've been at the
checking
track.
everything.
And also for me, I'm at the track every day. There's not one, I can't say not one day, but days like Glen Helen and Fox, there's almost not a day I don't see an ambulance coming and taking someone that's been lying there that's out. And it's you just think, damn, dude, it happens so often, so quick.
Mm-hmm.
It does suck. I
wish it wasn't so fun. That's a problem.
But I think too, and we've touched on this before, but I don't know if it's just the four-stroke era in general, but I don't remember seeing so many guys having, like you were saying, laying there unconscious, more catastrophic type injuries, whether it's broken backs and necks. It just felt like in the early days, if someone fell and they didn't get up immediately, you're like, okay, maybe it was his wrist or his lower leg. Not that diminishes it, but they weren't as serious injuries. And I think with the four-stroke speeds, weight, and inertia, it just seems to me like you're seeing more of these, heavier incidents.
Yeah.
That and also our tracks are so fast, especially now in the summer, they're so fast with so many kickers, and these guys don't know what to do when things go wrong, and I've seen it happen so many times. But our tracks are fast, especially Glen Helen and even Fox. Sometimes it's things can go wrong real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, even if the track was the same, like we were talking about Mammoth the other day, it's like on a 125, think how fast you were going up the hill.
You weren't going fast.
That's what I'm saying.
You were downshifting and wide open.
And now on a 250F even, but a 450, I mean, you're hauling ass. So those straightaway distances were okay before. But it's like, man, with these new bikes, maybe we need to throw a little zig or a zag in it.
Well, they've advanced so much over the years. I can still remember the first time I rode a 4-stroke. I was KTM 125, and we were in Florida. And I was riding with Chad, and he was on the Yamaha Troy 250F.
Yeah.
And one day, it was just the end of the day, and I'm like, hey, can I do a lap or two on that thing? And I remember thinking, what a pig, like what a piece of shit. And I'm like, no one's ever going to like these or ride these. And it's come so far.
I know.
And in its infancy, Doug Henry was on it. It's not like he set the world on fire immediately. They made some progress, and then I feel like Vegas was a good place for the 4-stroke. For anyone that's ridden it gets it. Just good traction, very tractor-like power, and obviously he's a good rider. But that really suited the 4-stroke. But generally speaking, the 2-strokes were still kind of outperforming. Now, if Jet was on a 250 2-stroke in the 450 class, as good as he is, I truly don't believe he could win.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't even think he could be on the podium. So,
well, you'd start 35th for one.
Yeah, and coming through is going to be a lot harder than it used to be.
Yeah, for sure. So what's new at the dealership? Some people like getting the dealer update, like what's going on with sales, how's business, what's going on in the industry.
Well, I think the one good thing is, and I can't speak for everyone, but August seemed to be not bad for people. It seemed like consumer spending a little in general actually picked up a little bit. And different dealerships have their different months where they're good, and you're like, oh, we didn't have a good month, and vice versa. But a lot of street bikes.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of street bikes. And ironically, I got to take my hat off to them, but Kawasaki is just crushing it in the street market. They have so many options in that mid-cc range.
Like 4, 5, 6, 700s. Yeah.
Yep. Upright, crotch rocket style, naked, full fairing, ABS, non-ABS. So they have like good price points and up, and man, they're doing very well. And I know even the other manufacturers are like, what are they doing? And I'm like, well, Yamaha, you got an R3, which is 300, and the next one is a 700. Like you're missing a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
And I think, but the market since COVID, every time you think you're seeing a pattern, it changes. So
Really?
the minute you're like, hey guys, do that. Oh wait, never mind. Do that. KTM was on the rise, and then they obviously got themselves into some trouble and overproduced. But yeah, street bikes are doing well. We joked with COVID, everything with a knobby was out of stock. Everything with a slick, there was warehouses full of them.
Oh, really? The street bikes weren't moving?
They did not sell, like almost zero, because no one was commuting.
Yeah.
But everyone was going to the desert and going to the track and going touring and adventure riding and dual sporting. Now the pendulum's coming back the other way, and it's like...
Yeah, I think the moto stuff must be quiet right now. The tracks have been quiet. The heat, the amount of tracks. It's been slow at the tracks recently. Like they've been pretty quiet these last couple of weeks, especially.
And bear in mind, every year, especially in Southern California, because of the heat, I know in other parts of the country, they're dead in winter because it's frozen over.
Yeah.
And then summer is their gravy months. We go to dealer meetings, so I get to talk to people from all around the country. I go, it gets too hot by us. So midway through summer, it goes, but street typically is pretty continuous, and it's been strong. The other problem is that kind of we're seeing is, and I think I said this on the last show, but it's like we got, for example, the new Cowie dirt bikes, 26. They're the same as a 25, but you've got the tariff edition price. So basically, for rough numbers, out the door, you're 12.5 for a 26, or 8.5 for a 25, an exact same bike. That's almost a 50% increase.
Oh, wow.
Because they have good incentives, good rebates and that. The new ones don't, and they got the tariff. So when you look at it, it's good having the 26 carry there because it's just selling all our 25s. So we're cleaning out the warehouse. But then, Yamaha had a bunch of upgrades, and even that has been a little slow, again, with rebates and then the new pricing on the new bikes. 25s are moving, and the 26, it's
Yeah, there's
been like
I need
one
to get
or two.
one of my riders, and it's out of stock. All the 25s out of stock already.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
250s at your at your shop. Can you check shop? I need to get some bikes.
Yeah. Well, Yamaha, they are definitely more on the conservative side. Their attitude is not like, we're going to sell as many as we can. Like, I think KTM had that mentality, and it got them in a bit of trouble. Yamaha keeps that balance where there's an old saying, supply and demand.
Yeah.
When supply is low, it keeps pricing and dealers making money rather than just whoring everything out. And again, with Yamaha, I personally think that Hayden Deegan is helping sell Yamahas, because I think with KTM's woes and someone like Deegan who's pretty popular, there's people that don't like him, but he's a very polarized figure, call it that. But I think what you're seeing is, and I've seen in my store, a lot of these kids that did 65, 85 on KTMs, now that they're going to big bikes, they're getting a YZ125 for the schoolboy and YZ250F, or even maybe a Cowie, things like that. So we're seeing a shift as well of that generation that's moving up. The brand loyalty is changing.
Plus the pricing. I mean, I just know I was looking at it's quite a bit more expensive right now too with going with the like if you took a Yamaha 250 and a KTM, it's quite a bit more expensive for KTM, like quite a jump.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they've got some issues, I think even just the drama of their financial situation kind of had some people going, maybe let's look at another brand if they were on
for
the
sure,
fence,
for sure. Anytime there's negative publicity, people become more skeptical.
But it's crazy how they dominate the mini bike market. I mean, you'd know this better than anybody. I think Cobra makes a good 65, but it's
but that's
65 and
why.
85, you have to be on a KTM.
Yeah, the Yamahas have picked up quite a lot. I must say, like they were struggling a lot with those 65s and 85s, and this new one, they've done a lot of work to get those bikes a lot better. I've had quite a lot of guys that I work with, of the young guys, Yamaha are doing really well for the upcoming kids, like actually doing some good deals for them, and they were worried about the bikes, and the bikes have come a very long way for sure. Obviously, Kawasaki with the 65s or 85s is not popular unless you're really on like a team green deal.
Yeah.
They make it better, but obviously KTM and stuff that's like kind of dominating that market. But the Cobra stepped up a lot on the 65s.
Yeah.
They've gotten a lot better. Like they're very competitive with the KTMs and stuff now. So they've stepped up a lot on the mini bike side. But I mean, obviously still, I would say 65, 85. They still dominate between the KTM, Husqvarna, Gas.
I know Yamaha's making a big push soon with this 85. They've been doing a bunch of development. We just built a project bike with Dean from R&D.
Yeah.
And we tested with a couple really fast local kids, and I said, bring your KTM race bike and ride it, and then ride this bike. And I want you to tell me if we're close, The goal was to try to beat a KTM race bike, big wheel stuff. Mm. And they're like, yeah, it's better off the bottom. It doesn't have quite as much top, but they said it's totally competitive.
Well, I think too, what finally.
But you got to put in some work to get there, right? Like that's ignition and exhaust.
Yeah, like my Uncle Andrew's starting to do more Yamaha 85, 65 stuff, and he said, when they've dynoed, they're getting closer, but again, if you get everything dialed in, you can get it really close to KTM. And they've just always been really good at focusing on that stuff, and I think companies like Yamaha are realizing, well, hang on, we're missing out because, if kids start off on KTM, they're more likely to stick with it because they're familiar with the bike, the brand. I mean, it's, they use.
You already got the orange tie downs and the anodized orange crap.
Yeah, and you got the 13 mil, So there's some different things that they've done pretty good. Like if you get one of those KTM toolkits, I mean, you can almost disassemble any of their motorcycles because of how the pattern works. And, for Yamaha, a PW50 is a great little starter recreational bike, but it's not a race bike.
Yeah.
So if, again, these guys, I think, are starting to realize, hey, we got to build that loyalty at a younger age. And it's funny you said, like, with Kawasaki almost being non-existent in the 65s and that. When I was a kid, it was only Kawasaki in the 60s. Well, it was still a 60cc back then, but that was the only bike.
Yeah.
So I mean, they won every
dude, it's crazy how
every
far it's
national
gotten.
moto for years. Undefeated.
Like, dude, I was chatting to Filippo about it the other day because I'm working with these kids now, kind of like full time, which has been pretty cool. And just like speaking about the bikes he grew up on and that stuff, and like compared to what they're dealing with now, it's just insane. He's like, you can't even. It's like
Is he on Cobras? What's he riding?
Cobras.
Yeah,
but dude,
I
his
thought I saw
kids' bikes are so rad. Like they're
sick.
like badass. They come to the track every day, dialed, got the mechanics. They just moved down next to the Paglia. He's going all in.
Dude, between him and his wife, I think they're coming to Benny's every day. Like they're literally asking, "Hey, can we buy a box of bread from you? The kids love your French roll."
Because they live right by the
Yeah.
Paglia. They just moved down 2 weeks ago. So I mean, they had a beautiful house in Newport, and they were doing this mission every like 2-3 times a week to come and ride.
Will drive you
Ryan's
insane.
like, dude, screw this. We're going all in. He's gone. The kids are actually doing really good though, but it's been like that whole transition in going to the track every day, doing all this. I'm like, dude, you know what you're getting yourself into? He's like, yeah, we're going for it.
Did he? He didn't buy the property right next to Mike.
No,
Apparently he's next. I mean, I haven't seen the property
no,
yet.
it's a couple doors down.
Okay.
It's on the main road. He
Okay.
described it. I'm like, I know where it is. So
Yeah.
Okay, because there's that empty property right south of the La Paglias. Someone owns it. I didn't know if they were selling it to him.
yeah, no,
There's no house on it.
If you drive past their property, I forget what that road is called again. It's going to come to me, but it's the White House on the left. If you were heading north, if you go past where their track and their
Yeah.
property is, a little bit further, it's like the second house on the left.
But dude, just seeing that whole process, like that was, I mean, Grant was one of them, but like Ryan was my like definitely like my idol growing up of the guys that I'd watch and be like, damn, like that was when I was young, one of the guys I wanted to meet and watch my whole life, and then seeing this whole process with these kids and being able to help them, it's so crazy seeing that. And like his kids are so different. He's got one kid that's like a stronger, more like
Yeah.
stocky kid, and then the other kid is tiny, dude,
I
like
know.
ripped but tiny. And just the difference of like how you have to deal with them different and how completely different their personalities are on the bike and everything, and like dealing with all of that, it's quite interesting.
Is Ryan doing all the bike work himself?
No, what's it?
He's got a guy.
Yeah, he's what's his name? I just went blank. He's been with Ryan forever too, so he's working on the bikes. I mean, Ryan's very involved though.
Is it Tanner?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm brain
Could
farting
be.
anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, so
Fizzle.
he's very involved. Like it's pretty cool because we'll work kind of with the kids together. A lot of the times, like he lets me do some stuff and then we do some stuff together, and it's just interesting seeing that dynamic and how he has to like slow himself down and like understand from where they are, where they're at, and.
It's funny.
Slowly that pressure's coming. The more they're at the track, I see the pressure more from Ryan coming under them.
Isn't it funny though? A guy like him, and this is just standard with most kids. They're not going to listen to dad.
Yeah.
No.
I was just going to say
I'm
the
like,
same
dude,
thing.
You got one of the most successful racers ever.
And he needs to hire me. And I'm like, dude, if you just listen to your dad, you're going to be dialed.
Hey, I had the same thing with my son. I kept telling him the same thing, and eventually we're at the track. Caleb was there, and I said, hey, Caleb, can you just talk to Devin? So he goes over, and he's showing Devin, and he gets all animated and all that. And we get in the truck, and after we load up and go home, he's like, wow, man, Caleb really helped me a lot. And I'm like, I said the same thing 15 times.
Oh, there's nothing.
I go, he said it once, and you're like, oh, great advice, Caleb. Like, you're the man.
Wow, that's really good. Gosh.
No, dude, it's
Thank
funny
you for
to
telling
see.
me.
But it's like, it's such, I mean, they obviously listen to Ryan, but I mean, at the same point, like, it's a weird way I can get through to them in a different way.
You don't want to
obviously
listen to
stay
your
on the same
parents. I
page.
mean,
No,
it's
dude,
just
too much.
it's built into your DNA.
But he gels well with the kids. He gets their attention because you get like pretty amped and animated yourself.
You have to keep them in it.
And I see them kind of lock in, and they do listen. And then I go to Devin, I tell him something, and it's like picks up his phone.
Well, dude, them you really got to try and like each one of them are different. But I'm good with like one thing I really am good with is like trying to understand like what makes them tick, what makes them excited. Like praise them on the stuff they do good, get hard on it. But I just like I know how to manage each one of them differently and get them excited about doing what they're trying to do. And like when they feel it right, like okay, so you got to get them kind of like if you just kind of like go through the motions, they just
tune
just
out.
go into.
You got the
And I'm-
energy level.
Yeah, and I've got a monitor. I can see when, like, if I'm talking too much, I start losing it. Or if, and so I'm good with, like, finding that balance to keep them, like,
Also,
locked in.
You do a good job, man. I've seen you out there. You seem like you do a really good job.
Thank you. And I
But
spend
you
a
also,
lot of time
you
with
also
it.
have kids that I think sometimes need to be pushed. And then there's kids where you watch and you're like, whoa, this kid's got no fear. Like, I almost have to
chill him
reel
out.
him in a little bit, like.
Yeah.
So it's
Each
also
one
the
of them are so
personality.
different. But, like, I always think, like, technique, speed, like, I try and keep that balance right. And if one's way off on one side, I take a step back. And that's what's so hard about doing, like, I focus, obviously, with the tracks we have, I've got to only I do group sessions, but I've got to such a strategy with it now that like I know exactly which guys should be with where. I don't really work with beginners anymore. I know which kind of group will work well with each other. So I kind of like, I'll never have like a beginner and a top rider all in one session together. Or I'll break up the group. So I've got like a good little system going now where I kind of know how to work the right guys together at the same time. Like today I had 11 riders at Glen Helen, and I had 2 groups, and I just worked them for 5 hours back and forth. So I'm out there the whole time, and I just have them on times on rotation.
Dang.
So it's like I've got a good little system going depending on
Yeah,
the
I
day.
admire you for that. I tried that for a little while when I stopped racing, and sometimes it's the parents that become the worst. It's not even the kids.
Dude, I'm so good at managing the parents, though. I have no issues.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, managing the parents. Like,
You've got to. But it gets to the point where you get that trust and they see the results of it, and like I can read how the parents are with the kids, and either it's good for them to be involved or hey, step back while I'm training. Like, I think I've got a pretty good understanding with the parents with that. Like, I'll know where to stand my ground in the sense of like, hey, you need to back off, or I'm not doing this, or it's like, okay, cool, we need more from you in this way. So that dynamic is massive. It's so important.
So you've obviously gone to Loretta's the last few years. How have you seen the amateur scene? I know you said like the tracks have been a little quieter lately. Do you see it changing at like the highest level of amateur racing?
Dude, I mean, no, the amateur, the top level of the racing, like if you go to the races, it's insane how many riders are there. Like, dude, this year I know Mammoth was a little bit quiet this year, but I think the rest of the races have been really good. Dude, watching the races now, like just the level of these the top riders of the country in every class, it is unbelievable. Like, I'm shocked watching at Loretta's. The things that these kids are doing now at their age. Dude, the top 65 riders look like Jet Lawrence and them on the bike. It's not even a joke. Like, they're doing things that weren't normally even like... Yeah. And dude, some kids that are incredible, like, they're like a 10th place rider. I'm like, dude, I thought they would have won. And it's like some of these kids that like on the top level of each of their class, it's unbelievable the things they're doing at their age. Like even the 50 class, the main 50 class, if you watch those top 3 to 5 riders, dude, they are doing like everything perfect on the bike that you like. It's insane. And I think the level of that riding style and technique and all that, if you don't have that these days, you're kind of getting left behind. But then taking that and putting into crazy racecraft of like stepping it up to that next level, it's like it's the level's becoming really high. Well, it's really hard to make it.
That's the thing that's interesting because you're younger than, well, both of us, but I don't know what amateur racing was like when you were doing it. You used to race like, man, at least a couple times a month. You were going and doing a big amateur event. And these kids just don't anymore.
It's hard. It's a lot harder. And I think on the East Coast it's a lot better. Like I was just chatting with Greg and because I do the camps every year with Greg Albertson at Game Moto, and they're starting that Arena Cross series, and they seem like they have a lot more races going on that side. Here it's a little bit harder, it seems, because you got the Moto for kids and stuff, and like people are so sporadic with it that like you might have 2 or 3 fast guys in a class, but there's not everyone going to those races. I feel like there has to be more races that are more. That everyone gets to that are a little bit more high profile, that you're racing more. Like, I think there's too many little races that it's so spread apart that I think you're right with that, because like a lot of these little races, like I said, you get 2 or 3 guys where there needs to be more races where there's more guys. And that's why people have the amount, I can't even tell you how many parents, whether I'm training them or not, when you're at Loretta's, and my kid won the regional and he was 3rd, and then he won his area, and then we come to Loretta's and he's 25th place, and I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, he was racing 4 guys. Like they're just not used to racing the amount. Like when you get to Loretta's and you see how many guys are good, it's just insane. So that for me, the talent wise and the way these people are racing, like these kids are racing, like the level is extremely high. Like it's crazy to see what some of these kids are doing.
It's crazy though. The California used to have all of the. The Transcal, the Golden State, like all of these really
but you're seeing
high-end series, and they're gone.
You got Swap Moto and Moto for kids, and then like I said, like some do we even race that, and just to get some racing in. But
Southern California was the motocross mecca, and it's just slowly dissolving. I mean, that's the reality. Go look at most of the pros. When I moved over, all the pros were at the local practice tracks.
Yeah.
Now, if you
you say that, dude, I will say through this outdoor season, they've actually had to split the practices because how many riders there are on a Tuesday at Parlour and Thursday at Glen Helen has been insane.
But
the thing is, there's no tracks.
But sometimes, like, for example, let's say KTM, AP and the rest of the boys are down in Florida. When they do testing, a lot of times it's a lot easier to have them fly to California on an off weekend or even just a few days to test some stuff and go back, than to try and ship and truck everything down there because they still have like their main headquarters in the area. So I think a lot of times when you're seeing any testing, or not any testing, but because they can do some of it down there, but anytime there's, say even like with Honda, when the Lawrences were trying to get comfortable, I think they were coming out here a little bit more.
I must say some of the pros, it was, and I must say Thursdays at Glen Helen and Tuesdays were really good at Fox, but it was packed. There were some days like it's a full national at the track, and they were actually spitting at the practices where they had big bikes and juniors, and even the big bike session, it was scary, dude. Just like, because you still had
when it's
amateur
that busy,
guys and pros.
I like
it's
it
insane.
when they separate it because.
But still, dude, when they separated it, it was still packed.
Yeah, but imagine
insane.
if they didn't. Like,
I know you couldn't.
They never used to at times, and you got kids on a 65 on the main track. Thankfully, now some of those kids are actually the same speed as me, so I don't have to worry about landing on them.
No, but dude, it's
the other way
scary.
around. I have to follow them off the big jump to see how far to hit.
Yeah, but you used to have Parlour Open and then Milestone and then this and another track, so you had another option. The problem these days,
Star West and
the problem
Paris.
these days, Monday, the only track open in California is Fox. Tuesday, you got Fox and Glen Helen.
But Glen Helen never used to be open on Tuesday.
Okay, yeah, but it's very quiet on Tuesday at Glen Helen. Wednesday now in California, the only track open is Kahia. Thursday, the only track open in California is Glen Helen. The only track
Well, you
open
mean
on
Southern California.
Sorry.
Let's be a little more.
Southern California. Friday, the only track open is Fox. We don't have options. Paris is not open one morning in the week. They only open Saturdays and Sundays and Wednesday nights. So there's not one day. So we have Paris Raceway, but normal guys, the normal riders don't ride on the weekends. So we don't have Paris. So there's nothing from Monday to Friday in the mornings. You literally have Glen Helen, Fox, and then Kahia.
Well, I think Elsinore's going to open up soon. That'll help.
Thank goodness, though. I mean,
we need it so bad.
I hope they do a good job because Elsinore's obviously had a bit of a bad rap of just being baked out.
Dude, they put in so much effort, and they found this dirt.
That's
Dude,
what
they found
I've
this
said that for
special
years.
dirt. Dude, they found this dirt and they mixed it in. He said you won't believe the difference and they found a bunch of it, and they're mixing it all in. No, dude, where he was like,
we need it.
It's like he found gold apparently, and they're not opening it until it's done right. They're not rushing it. They were meant to open 2 months ago. I just spoke to Stacy a few days ago. I think the vet track is opening soon. She says, honestly, they're waiting for it to open properly. They're putting in work all the time. But the main track's probably only going to be closer to the end of the year that they're saying it's open.
Well, it's so hot right now for them.
Yeah,
I would almost hold off and go, hey, when you can keep some moisture in the track, that old saying, you want to first impression.
But dude, it makes it's so like, I mean, luckily I've still been keeping busy, but dude, it's so hard for me keeping the motivation, especially to my guys, of keeping this routine going when we literally have Fox and Glen Helen. That's
Sunfair. You just got to drive like 2 hours out there,
dude.
Hey,
I haven't been there still.
I just saw his article, but Hangtown is in jeopardy of closing down.
I saw that.
Dude, no way.
Yeah.
They want to put solar farms on it.
Libtards.
Dude, I've been wanting to. I've had so many little opportunities to try open something here, but there's so many there's so many things that stop you from doing something.
That's the risk. You can open a place that's a private facility,
but then get shut down.
But you don't get. It can't really truly be permitted in Riverside County, and so if you got cool neighbors, that's cool. But all you need is one guy to get hurt, and a lawyer finds out and goes, "Hey, we could sue." You know how it goes, and
you almost have to do it on an Indian res. You got to find
that's
one.
Anyway. Yeah, it's tough. So that's what we've been struggling with here. We've been trying to figure out ways.
But you say when you go to like Loretta's this year, or you said Mammoth was quiet, but Mini-O's or Spring-A-Ding, like the crowds are huge.
Yeah, it's big. It really, I must say, like you can't, like, and they're putting on, like, even Loretta's this year was it every year. I mean, that race is incredible. I'm gonna do Ponca again this year. It seems like a lot of guys are going there. A lot of guys from California. So it seems like the amateur big scene is still going really good, I would say. I mean, it's.
I just feel like there needs to be some more events. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. And
At least
especially
in
with
the
keeping the
Southwest.
motivation, keeping the guys, like, especially, like, it's been an awkward time but from Loretta's. Like, a lot of guys are taking a break and the motivation's a struggle. It's like, okay, what's next? You need to have something to kind of work towards or kind of just flattens out a lot, you know?
also more tracks will keep you more motivated. I mean, like you said, it gets hard for you to go to the same places to coach.
Yeah.
Now imagine those kids that just, You know, and it reminds me where he
South Africa.
where he grew
One-
up.
one
Where he
track.
grew up, there was basically one track,
One track.
like literally one track.
Yeah.
Before I got there, I knew exactly what the track was. I knew every bump. I knew everything that was going to happen.
See, at least for a while, we had three: Springfield, Hammersdale, and Pietermaritzburg. Maritzburg's still there. Hammersdale's not had a national.
When I came over here,
Did you ever race a national at Hammersdale,
No.
South Africa? Yeah, it was already gone by then.
But yeah, I remember when I first came over here, there was a track every day of the week.
Yeah.
Go to every single day.
And then you could even, if you felt like driving a little bit, you just went to the high desert, and there was another three options: 395. What was one just at the top of the hill?
That was Comp Park, Comp
yeah,
Edge.
Comp Edge. Yeah.
What
Well,
was
there
it?
also was a Comp Park.
Yeah.
I mean, when I moved here, there was a dozen tracks
Yeah,
within driving
it was
distance.
cranking back
Because
then.
they even brought
Rhino's
back Saddleback.
place. Yeah.
McGrath had his place. Like, there were places to ride. Now, not even private facilities. There's almost zero.
It's tough.
We got the SMX playoffs about to kick off. I wrote down the points where everybody's at. I wanted to get your guys'
nice.
thoughts. So Justin Cooper in the 40 class coming in with, I guess, the most points. I think it only gives
Question:
him
what is this? I've seen them hype up about the points. What does it help Justin Cooper being the points leader coming
so
in?
he has a 3-point lead, basically now going in on Jet.
Okay. Oh, so you actually get some points. It
You
helps
get some
you
points
towards,
out
okay.
of your standings, yeah. But it's like 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. So it's not when you remember that the second round is double points and the final round is triple points. 3 points is like
Well, remember the first year they did
not
it?
much.
Jet was 250 West, didn't even ride Supercross, came in with like the 10th ranked rider, and then just dominated SMX.
Yeah, so it's not I don't know. You really just want to be in the top 20, I think, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So,
make some moolah.
Jet second, Malcolm third, Cooper Webb fourth, Hunter, Chase, Tomac, AP Barsha, and RJ Hampshire's 10th. And then looking at the 250s, you got Deegan, Shimoda, Marchbanks, Vial, Hamaker, Kitchen, Beaumaire, Voland, Jordan Smith, and Moseman's 10th.
I like the fact that Hampshire is qualified for both classes.
Yeah, Hampshire's 20th in the 250 and 10th in 450. So he's the only guy to qualify for both. But you were saying there's so many guys out. A chance for like
Justin Hill.
yeah, look, we were going through AP's not racing.
Prado's out.
Prado's
Anderson.
out. Anderson's out. Nichols, I don't think he's back. His wrist.
He's not. I just heard him say today Wishell's racing, so he's out.
He's out for I think another month or so he'll miss him.
Someone like Justin Hill, what is he now, like 20th or
Hill's
25th?
19th.
19th. He could end up like 10th or 11th.
Yeah, or a guy like Savachi, if he has a good few rounds, I mean, he could make.
McElrath.
Yeah, McElrath.
They can move up right around that 10th spot, which it's a decent payout. I mean, the difference, I think, between 20th and 10th for guys that are non-factory riders, it's a big deal.
Yeah, lots of cash. So good for
I
them.
mean,
what do you guys think of this SMX thing?
I think most people that have read between the lines, it's a TV play, and I have no skin in the game, so it doesn't matter to me. But I think it's probably good for the sport in general for a couple of reasons. One, they took away one national and Monster Cup, so theoretically there's one more race. They're at least doing it at night in places that shouldn't, it's a hybrid track, So it brings a little, if you're just a true moto fan, you think this is cool because it's the playoffs, and they hype it up. In the industry might go, yeah, whatever. It's just 3 rounds where they pay out some money, but because it's not like a true playoff. It's not like, oh, you all are eliminated and you're all eliminated, and this is the Super Bowl champion of motocross.
Yeah.
So to me, it was a way for the TV package to put more money into the sport.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are talking about with this new contract renewal that they are hoping and expecting some of that to be kicked into the series. The main thing I'd like to see would be universal health care for the athletes. And I know that's been kind of expensive. Jimmy Button and Road to Recovery have looked into that. And I think he told me, and this was years back, don't quote me, but he said it would be about $10 million to cover all the races throughout the year. I think that's money well spent. Like, we got to make sure that, a guy that's just keeping his head above water, doesn't have a back injury, and his life is ruined because he's literally bankrupt for the rest of his life. To me, that sucks. So I would really love to see some sort of a healthcare option, even if they didn't change the prize money. If they could just say it was 10 million, maybe it's gone up a little bit more, but if they could put that in and say riders will always be taken care of, both medically and then after they recover, to me that'd be massive. So I'd love to see that. And then if there's some money laying around, which they say there won't be, I'm sure, but if there was some more laying around, I'd like to see, they always want to go, it's $1 million for first. I'm like, that's awesome. But 10th is like way down here.
Yeah.
Like 10th through 25th or 30th, there's guys that if they finish 25th in the 450 class, to me, deserve a decent paycheck.
Yeah. You can't make a living even making mains right now. If you're making 450 mains, which is crazy hard.
Yeah.
You're not making much of a living.
And that's what I'm getting at is leave the $1 million. I know it sounds cool and it's a great marketing tool, but bump up the guys.
Fill the middle in,
like once you get outside the top 10, those are usually non-factory riders that are getting either no salary or a minuscule salary with some minor bonuses or a little tiny bit of gear money or goggle. But even those companies, since post-COVID, they don't have the money to spread around. What you're seeing a lot of these companies do is go, whether it's Fox or Alpine Stars, they'll spend the money on the elite guys, but then they don't have the budget for that 12th to 15th.
But it's a hard
to
marketing
20th.
thing, though. That's the thing too. Like that's why with like Formula One and moto, it's so they've got to have that grip in some way to hype it up. But that's what I think makes it tough. I think that's why when people like talk about racing for $1 million, it kind of like adds that like.
I'm saying that it sounds good. Don't change that. I hate to say it, but when Deegan was winning the 250s and Lawrence was winning the 450, and everyone's like, yeah, nice payday. You never want to say they don't need it. Everyone's going to say, yeah, I need it. They want it. But if it was $1 million or $2 million, it's not going to affect their lives that much.
No.
But a guy that got 20th in the series that may have gotten $7,500, but is now getting $50,000. That's huge.
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to say is,
of course,
let's pull it down the chain instead of just because I could see that $10 million, to the winner, and second place you get $20,000.
Yeah.
And it's
Good
like,
job.
yeah, but when you look at golf and even Indy 500, Daytona 500. I was like, man, Daytona 500 gets so many entries compared to the rest of the year. Like teams bring out backup cars and drivers, and I'm like, oh, it's interesting. And I went and looked. I'm like, oh, you make the slowest car to get into the race, 40th. It's like 300,000 if you finish dead last. I'm like, well, of course they're going to pull someone off the couch and bring up the backup car. So
you give me one good lap.
Yeah, that's all they care about.
The SMX thing has pulled that a little bit.
It has. It's definitely helped, and that's why I said when you said back to your original point, what I think, I get it. I think it's good from marketing. I think it's good for a TV play. And let's be honest, Deegan's made the 250 class boring. Jets made the 450 class boring. Now, if you're a motor fan, you're like, yeah, well, it's a reset, and anyone can win this, and rah.
And it's a weird track, so it's interesting. Like I'm excited for them. You know what I mean? When they come on, I'm like, all right, it's a little weird. Nobody's set up
Not
as
as
perfect.
technical.
Yeah, it's different.
Little higher speed, and they've tried to make a hybrid. So
as a racer, I would have hated it. Like not being able to get your setup right. It's like it's gonna suck somewhere.
Yeah. See, I think I would have been kind of pumped on it because I kind of had this weird thing. I did a race in Sweden. It was a supercross race. But they had to avoid the actual soccer pitch because I forget, there was like heating stuff or something. But anyway, so it was basically on the running track and then in the stands. So you would come up and down the stands, around the running track, back and forth, like a little back, forth, and then these fast straightaways. And you were coming up to this one triple at like 100 miles an hour. And I freaking loved it. Because all you did was chop the throttle and just scrub the shit out of it. And I was like, they're like, well, it's a bit of a weird track, I know. I'm like, I enjoyed it. And it was just different.
You're having a blast.
So
I think it's cool for the spectators. I think if you like just watching it, it's fun to watch.
Well, Daytona's always been that unique one, and it's one of the few places where I've watched the crowd grow over the years.
Yeah.
So if you're anyone with half a brain, you look at that and go, something's working. Yeah, maybe it's because of Bike Week that helps bring a motorcycle crowd to the area. But at a lot of these speedways, you can be on the banking, you can be on the basically what would be pit road in the grandstands, you can be in the seat. There's options, and you got suites and boxes, so it brings that just different element. You know that old saying: if you keep doing the same thing, it's probably going to get stale. I just saw, I'm a Formula One fan. They're looking at ways to try and spruce up Formula One. And they're talking about a bunch of different changes that would make it a shorter weekend, more intense, sprint races, inverting the field possibly. So if you qualify first, you have to start last. But I don't know how that's going to work, because what are you going to do? Overshot the brakes. Oh, my bad. I know I'm in the fastest car, but I qualified 18th out of 20. Oh, that sucked.
Lance Stroll will be getting every pole.
Yeah, he'll be up front. And that window licker can clean out the whole field in one turn. So... But again, people are trying. NASCAR, they've been trying. They've been going in the cities on road courses.
Dude, they did one in the LA Coliseum.
I mean, talk about trying to get desperate because they're losing their fan base. NASCAR reminds me of Harley Davidson. All the people that loved it are dying.
Yeah.
And the new younger
they all
generation.
got lung cancer from the Winstons.
And the Marlboros and the Camels.
But I still have my Harley.
Yeah. Oh, look at you, little show pony.
He rode that down to the yacht.
Yeah. But, sports, they keep trying to do things different. Like, I don't even really watch baseball, and one of the main reasons was I tried to, and I'm like, it's so boring to me because I didn't grow up playing it, so I have no invested interest. And then I went to a couple of games. Actually, I went with LaPaglia, and we left. He's like, man, what a game. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, it was a pretty high-scoring game. It was 8-5.
Baseball is so boring.
And I was like, you thought that was a good game? He goes, yeah. And then I watched a couple on TV. I'm like, oh, God, they're terrible. Like, to me, I'm like, they're celebrating a no-hitter. I'm like, not one fucking guy made contact with the ball, and everyone said, what an amazing game. I'm like, how does that make sense? But then they started speeding up play and cutting the brakes out, and, because there was so much downtime. And I think the new generation don't have the patience to sit through long games. NFL,
I can't sit through a baseball game. It's so boring to me.
Well, even NASCAR, they have, the stages. So, if someone's pulling away, all right, stage one is over, caution, everyone pits, we bunch everyone up and hope to have some carnage.
Yeah. My favorite thing that's happened to sports lately is these dildos being thrown in the WNBA games. The green dildos. I love it. I think it's so funny.
I might actually start watching women's basketball.
It's the only reason. And did you see, I don't remember which golf tournament it was, but someone threw one out on the green. The guy who was golfing, like putting the winning putt.
Did he throw a green dildo?
Yeah.
Did they even see it, though, on the green?
Well, it rolled off the green into a sand trap. But it's, it's like.
Well, now they got to get like white dildos
we might have
for
to
the
change
greens.
color, but I would just really I'm not going to encourage anyone to do this who might be listening, but if you go to the Motocross of Nations and you happen to have a dildo in your bag, just fire it up onto the podium. It would be so good.
Stick it on someone's forehead. Have you ever seen that when they used to do that, like guys are at a stoplight and they pull up and just on his helmet. And he's like, what's he doing? He's riding with his antenna. Anyway, we got off base there, but that's all right.
That's perfect. That's
but
what
yeah,
we do.
I think, what do you want to add anything? But I think SMX is just a fun way to wrap up the season. I mean, the reality is your Supercross champions are official, your motocross champ. SMX, they're hyping it up, but it's not a real championship.
Yeah, well, this is what
I've
been asking all the guys in interviews, and no one will really give me a 100% answer.
No, because they've got to hype up SMX.
Well, I'm just like, okay, what's the most important title to you? Supercross, outdoors, or SMX? Like, rate them. Is the SMX World Championship as important as Supercross to you?
If you're asking me, I think if you're a 250 rider, it's the outdoors because you're a national champion.
Yep.
Not a regional. If you're 450, I think it's Supercross because that is the most watched and pinnacle of and excitement of our sport.
Yeah.
But SMX, you had to be good indoors and out and deliver at the end.
That's true, but I feel like Hayden's champion. Like if I just think of something like Hayden, I think his Supercross and outdoor championships were more.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying
Okay.
the way it's set up, it's meant
Well,
to be like
back
if
to
you are
my
the
point-
SMX World Champion,
Yeah.
that's the pinnacle.
Okay, so back to my point. The first year, Jet rode 250 West, qualified because he rode 450 outdoor, and then wins the SMX, and now he's the whole series world champion, even though he didn't participate in half the series. Like, how does that make sense? He missed 17 rounds, did 11 outdoors and 3 playoffs, and wins the whole thing. Like, to me,
He definitely threw off their algorithm.
I was going to say, I know somewhere behind closed doors they're going, motherfucker, we didn't anticipate this. He's making us
I
look
mean, it's
bad.
a good idea. I think, especially for the guys like getting guys like even racing back like Dean Wilson, like Nichols, like guys that don't want to do outdoors that are thinking like I don't like what's the point of going to put myself through that? A lot of the guys will come and race to get enough points because
sure.
they want to race SMX. So it kind of forces the guys to maybe race a couple of outdoors, throw things up like and not put away all these races because they do want to race SMX because it's really worth it for them. So that part I think is
There's
really
those
cool.
few guys that, struggled with Supercross that will, just do some of the outdoors to qualify. And we had touched on it too, with the World Supercross. Now you have the opportunity to do the AMA series, the playoffs to warm you up to go into the World Supercross. It's not going to be good for the motocross series.
Yeah, but you got these more.
But if you're Ken Roxon, Dean Wilson, those guys in their twilight years, hey, I can take the summer off, enjoy life, spend time with the family, and still make good money and just focus on indoors.
Yeah.
So do you know what's surprising to me? And like even like Greg Albertson's actually on top of this. They just created like a teaching Supercross track at his facility, but I can't believe there's not more places building amateur Supercross tracks to teach these guys.
They're building one at Fox.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Oh,
Yeah, it's
huge.
coming
That's
soon.
amazing. But that's like, I mean, if you think about it, that's going to appeal so much more. And they're doing that on the East Coast now, like the little arena cross races and building that up. I think that's so important to see where everything's going.
Yeah.
Because there's not that much hype in outdoors. Like I mean, not
Well,
that much. We need
motocross is
motocross. We need motocross.
But motocross is the natural side of our sport. No one got on a bike and said, I'm going to go to Angel Stadium and huck that triple. You couldn't. But you could go to your local Pee-wee track, and that's how you got into motocross.
What do you guys think about a Varg or Stark or whatever?
I love those things.
They're
dude.
going to let him race World Supercross.
Really?
Vince
I had one.
Vince Freezy signed with them.
Those bikes are so insane.
Yeah.
Like I was surprised. I had one for a little while. I sold mine because I had 2 bikes that I rode 5 times a year. So I didn't realize I need 2 bikes for now. But
Well,
I
the good
love my
thing-
stock, dude.
the
That
good
thing,
thing-
on certain tracks, in certain conditions, I would go faster my stock than my 450 for sure.
Yeah.
In some ways, when it gets certain rough, but like to have no clutch and just get in and out, I feel like for like tighter tracks and some Supercross stuff, the stock would be better.
Yeah, I think Vince Freezy could win this.
I think I'd be surprised. And dude, how they're so fast, like
Well-
to go just from start to wide open. Those
Wow.
things are insanely fast.
Well, the other thing is, it should suit Freezy's riding style because when he goes to smash people, the extra
won't know.
battery weight, it'll not just take him out, it'll put him in the grandstand. So it's going to be good.
What you guys? Do you think this is? I mean, I don't think that electric bike, and it's fun to ride. I like it. I'm not a hater. I don't think you can mix that with gas bikes.
No.
Well, that's
it's
what a
gotta be
lot of
separate.
people say. But
I think it's got to be separate to a point.
But here's the thing: I forget his name again. But the founder of Stock, they've offered, hey, we could. I think like in America, they've offered to do a electric class, and he's adamantly against it. He's like, no, we want to race combustion. And I think you get caught between ambition, where's the future? We can't just close the door on this.
I think it's got to be its own class.
So to me, for FIM World Supercross, I think it makes sense. Here's a series trying to get an identity. They're trying to figure out things. What you got KTM that are adamantly not going to support that series.
I don't think any of the manufacturers are.
Well, the private, most of the teams are privately owned, and they're getting support from their.
Well, because remember Honda clipped. Was it Roxon that year? Said if you go do those, you're out, and he left. Remember, like the manufacturers here in. American Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, they're like, no.
But
We're
with
not.
that series, when it started, basically the guys behind it were Australians. So if you go look at a lot of the teams, it was Australian-based teams that had support from Australia, Yamaha, Australia, Suzuki, and Honda. It's evolved a little bit, and they're getting support. I got to be honest, I don't understand, and I don't like the fact that manufacturers are straight away going, no, we want nothing to do with
I
it.
know, it's weird.
I get there's probably politics behind closed doors, and I'm sure there's some threatening stuff going on. But to me, if someone said, if you do that, we won't do this for you, or we're going to punish you, I'd say, hey, you better watch it, motherfucker, because I'll make sure that we turn this thing around, and you're the one with your thumb up your ass at the end of the day.
That's what was happening. That's what's weird to me. It's not like they were just not supporting it. They were actively against it. You know what I mean? Like, if you go do that race, your contract's null and void.
But even with KTM, it surprised me because remember way back in the day when Feld and AMA had their little falling out, and Feld signed with FIM, and I was just moving up to the 250s then from 125s, and we had to go to Europe. KTM was all about it, but again, we were in Europe, and we went to, I remember it was Holland and Switzerland and Spain and I forget where else, but KTM was all in. And now fast forward, it's like, oh, we want nothing to do with it. I don't know if I'm missing something. Maybe,
we must be missing something.
Maybe there's something. I thought maybe there was some blackmailing coming from, MX Sports and Feld. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But the fact to almost distance yourself, I just don't like it because I think, one, you're putting riders in the middle of a political situation that they don't want to be a part of.
Yeah, they're just trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever you are. And to say, like, oh, if you go do that, then we're going to punish you with this, it's not fair to me. And again, if this World Series can take off, I think it's fantastic for the sport because MotoGP and Formula One, what are the two things that they have? A truly worldwide series. They go to every continent. They go to third world countries. They get massive crowds. And so there's a reason why
so many people watch in different places.
Yeah,
in the world,
they go to Malaysia, and Honda's probably going, hey, even though we didn't win the race, we sell 1 million scooters here. Indonesia, Argentina, wherever, and they hit all these markets, and it's created a truly global sport. The drivers are rock stars, the riders are rock stars. They've got big corporate companies. I mean, the money in Formula One is mind-boggling. The TV package that they sign is billions and billions of dollars where the teams get cuts of it. So it's just taking what's already entertaining and blowing it up. I would like to see that. I think it would be amazing to have a World Supercross series on every continent that people that have never gotten to see these superstars now have a chance to buy a ticket and drive to a
Nelson's
stadium.
their big race in South Africa. It's happening for the first time this year in Cape Town.
And people are stoked.
People are talking about it in everywhere in South Africa. Like, oh my God, there's a big race coming here again. I know they've tried before and it hasn't been right, but with the right people, like if that took off, you won't realize how many people would become more motocross fans and how much it's died out in Cape Town.
And then
but people will come and it will create a whole new.
And here's the difference between our
level
sport.
of
I agree.
Supporters.
The difference between our sport and Formula One, MotoGP. You can go buy a super bike that resembles a MotoGP bike, but you watch Eli Tomac, Ken Roczen, whoever win the World Supercross in Cape Town. You can go to the dealer and buy that bike. Yeah, it doesn't have the A-kit suspension, but you can buy that A-kit suspension. You can buy that GYTR or ship your motor. You could literally, if you really wanted to, be on the same machine.
Can never buy
And
MotoGP
that's
stuff.
a tangible thing that we haven't really, I think some people haven't wrapped their head around. We sell dirt bikes in most countries in the world. I mean, I remember when I moved here, people are like, you guys have bikes in Africa? I'm like, you'd be surprised. But yeah, at the end of the day, there are dirt bikes, street bikes on almost every piece of dirt on this planet. So to me, World Supercross can now take something that's already established, bring it indoors, bring this entertainment factor. People love going to concerts. They like the fireworks and the show and the lights. And I mean, I remember you were too young, but Sun City Supercross.
Yes, it was big.
I went there when I was a kid, and I'm telling you, Ping, my mind was blown. And it was basically like an arena cross, but in a dome. And I just thought it was insane. I remember leaving there just like couldn't stop talking about it. I'm like, it was so amazing. They had the Americans and the Europeans and our guys, and there was this crash and that happened, and the stadium was rocking with the music and the light show and the fireworks and the ceremonies. And I was just, as an enthusiastic kid, I was mind blown, and I was obsessed with the sport. And the first time I went was 9 or 10. And seriously, that just changed things for me. And I always remember, and when it went away, it broke my heart.
No, I think it's massive in that. Even like I remember a few years ago, I think it was like 2013, Nitro Circus came to Cape Town in our main stadium where they had the Soccer World Cup, and they were saying it was one of their biggest shows, and people spoke about that for years. And they're actually having the World Supercross in that Cape Town stadium where they had the FIFA World Cup in 2010. So I'm like, if they can build this up that it actually kind of works, dude, it could be massive.
My only concern with building it up is just with that, to build it up. And again, over there they're dealing with the rands, which is a weak currency at the moment. But I've had a couple of people, some of my friends, hey, do you have any hookups? Tickets are flipping expensive. And I hope they can realize when you go to certain third world countries, $100 to maybe us in SoCal is it's not a big deal.
At home you won't.
But at some places, $100 is like a weekly's wage, or So I hope they just keep in mind, let's build it, and then we can start being
if
a
you're
little
selling
greedy.
tickets for $100, people,
starting price. But
you're not going to get the masses.
And I get it. To me, they're going to have to come to the conclusion, like, hey, we're going to lose money the first probably couple of years. And then hopefully once this thing actually builds up and we get better TV packages and more corporate sponsors for the series, that'll alleviate some of the debt. So it's not like, oh, we spent all this money, now we got to rape all our, fans.
Yeah.
You're going to have to lose money to eventually make money, is what I'm getting at.
Hey, one other thing I want to ask you guys about, this summer's been pretty odd with a few guys, and I don't want to smash them, but I wanted to get your thoughts on, like, Prado, for one, which was like a really odd thing. And then also Chase Sexton's deal at Indiana, when he had that weird crash. Sounds like something got stuck in the rear brake. He couldn't grab the brake off the jump. He held the front, locked it up, and then when he landed, that front went in and it locked it up with dirt. But he, then the bike spun. It was a whole debacle. But he got up and just kind of walked off, I guess, really mad, like was gone before the moto was even over. And then Tom Vial, who said, I just wasn't feeling comfortable, so he didn't go out and race.
No, he said that they had a shock malfunction, and it happened
was
numerous
dying,
times.
and they're like dying through the motor or something. But dude, again, like it's like,
I had that.
What's your thoughts on that?
I had that with KTM and WP when I rode for them in '99 and 2000 in the GPs. I ended up so basically after Saturday practice and qualifying, they would rebuild the shocks with new nitrogen, oil, seals, everything. And then in morning warm-up, I'd go out with the PDS. They could change it in 90 seconds.
Yeah.
So I would go out, make sure I was comfortable, maybe make one or two clickers, pull in, switch shocks, make sure I was comfortable, and I'd use one for Moto 1 and one for Moto 2.
but I'm saying at that level, how could it be that bad? How could it be that bad though? At this,
I thought he said something had broken, and it might have been.
What I read, I remember reading is like this has been happening a while. You can see on the data, the shock keeps losing its whatever, and it's been happening over and over. I like that.
The data shows. I was the data back then. I'm like, I'm telling you guys. Because KTM even said to me, are you sure you're not going crazy? And I'm like, guys, even if I am crazy, how about this? Just switch it, and then that way,
Well, so if you're let's say it is true that something was
if
going on.
If it was fading, then that's pretty lame just to kind of give up. If it was something that had broken or was going wrong, that could be
fading, and he said it was losing its.
If it was something that was, let's just say, a major safety issue,
I don't think it was that.
I'm kind of with you on that one. But if it was, I would go, hey, I totally get it. We've just talked about how dangerous the sport can be. No one wants to go out there going, I might crash if I keep pushing. So It's a fine line because every rider has a different tolerance level of what they're willing to deal with.
Well, and I keep hearing rumors he's going back to GPs racing Honda. Don't know if it's true. Nothing's been announced, but like, I don't know, man. It just doesn't look good. I always, we're always told never quit, right? I mean, that's rule
At
number
least
one.
start the race, go, and if it gets that bad,
you just pull off. Yeah.
But at least it comes across like I made my effort. Now you guys got to sort it out.
Yeah.
So for me, I can't say too much. Like I just watch more of the news. Like I'm not in. Like I'm so focused on all the amateur guys that I kind of watch the pro stuff, but I'm not like as involved that I'm looking at everything that's happening. All I can say is like I see Prado at the practice track almost every day, and like he looks good on the bike, but it doesn't. Like put it this way, he'll be doing motos with different or any of the top amateur guys, and he's kind of the same pace. He looks good on the bike, but there's nothing like extra. Like everything he's doing looks picture perfect, very smooth. His lines are nice, but there's nothing like extra watching it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he'll do motos with Ryder, and they'll be the same through a whole 30 minutes.
Yeah, I watched Marchbanks pull him up.
Yeah, Marchbanks is insane. Like when I watch Marchbanks on a practice track, like it's not pretty all the time, but I'm like, holy shit. Where like Prado everything is just perfect. Yeah. He'll do the same thing over and over. But there's no like anything extra.
He's been the weirdest one for me, just because even if he wasn't comfortable, I mean, Bud's Creek, 43rd, I think.
Yeah, that almost started to seem intentional. Like,
yeah, I felt like saying you could have gone to the local dealership, bought a bone stock bike, and still.
But dude, I'll watch Tickle on the practice day sometimes when he wants to turn around. I'm like, damn, dude, like. Tickle, obviously, a lot of the time just rides because he's testing stuff, and I'll see sometimes when he's pushing, and I'm like, holy dude, he can, like, work that bike, like, properly. And I'll watch him, and, like, he'll sometimes, because most of the time he's testing things, he's riding at, like, 70%, but I'll often see him put in some sprint laps, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he can go.
He makes that bike look
I just think it's weird how he was qualifying okay. He'd get the whole shot, he'd run top 3, top 5 for 15, 20 minutes, and then it was just...
Dude, I mean, it's so hard to say on that level. I've never been on that level, like where they are at. But I mean, I think so much. I mean, no matter what, I can take in anything that I've been racing. When everything's clicking and you're feeling good and you got that confidence, you up there. Like, it's like you become like a little like superhuman. Like something just takes over where you just know exactly what you want to do. No matter what, if you even think you're feeling good and you got guys beating you that shouldn't be, and you're in this middle, like. I think it's so much of it has to be so much of a mental thing because I've had days. I mean, we've all had them where like. You think you're feeling good, and next minute you're like, what is going on? And other days where, like, things are just so easy, and you're the man, and it just kind of, like, rolls from that. Yeah. And I think so much comes from that. Like, even if you think you're feeling good, when you got this level of those guys doing this on these tracks and they're not that comfortable, when you're a little bit off, when you 3 seconds a lap off at that level, it just adds in like this all of a sudden. So when you're comfortable and everything's rolling good, it's like you can add to those things. And when it's not, I think it can go down real quick.
But, I mean, I know Jorge a little bit, just talked to him a few times. I think he's a nice guy.
I think he's a really nice guy.
It's hard for me to bash him, but I have to say on a professional level, there's no way in hell the bike is that bad. Secondly, he said he wasn't comfortable. You got to take some responsibility. They have a lot of tools to get you comfortable on a bike. And just something is not adding up. Like to me, he's saying 2 + 2 = 5. It's not adding up. So I think he needs to take. Maybe he just thought America is not what I thought it was. There's some guys. I mean, you've seen it. I've seen guys go to Europe. South Africans, Americans, and do okay. And I've seen some just really fucking choke. And it's like you're better than that. And they're like, I can't get over this like hump or whatever you want to call it. And there's been. Fast Europeans have come to America and done well. I mean, I
just think our intensity is so high. Like,
yeah, but go look at GPs. That's one of the things I've noticed. When I was there, they were 40-minute plus 2-lap motos, and it felt like everyone tried to get a start. They kind of hustled to get in position. Like, okay, I got into 5th because I was 8th. All right, I'm gonna find my lines, get my groove, and then slowly ramp up like it was a marathon.
Yeah,
I don't want to peak too soon. Now I watch these guys, and I'm like, and then one of the things I used to laugh, I was like, the Euros used to suck at staying low on jumps. They were like boner air all the time. And now these guys are scraping foot pegs and dragging bars off stuff, and the corner speed's insane. Like when you watch the GPs, the intensity is insane. almost the entire time, which made me think, well, when I was watching Supercross, I'm like, okay, if Prado doesn't get hurt, watch him outdoors. And then it's like,
But do you maybe think with that time, with him getting comfortable, maybe on the track too, like and just having to go?
Yeah, he
that could
gets
be
no
something?
free practice. That's
but
gnarly to me.
still,
And I know what you mean, but
I
I'm
feel
saying
like
with
that's still no excuse to be that far off.
No, and the thing is, he can run the pace for the first few laps. He's shown that. He's been top 3 several times. But then it's just like he just anchors. He just falls off. One guy passes him, and he's like he crumbles.
But he's never been known as a lazy guy. Like he's
No,
always been known to be in shape in that.
Yeah.
So again, it's not that. It comes back to, and I think most people would agree, it's all here.
Yeah.
Something is just not working for him. And maybe it got to a point where he's like, you know what, I've got this extended contract, because theoretically he's contracted through next year.
2 more years.
Yeah. I knew it was 2 years. I thought it was a third-year option, with some clause. But either way, he was in it next year. If he's just miserable, maybe he's like, I just want to go home to Spain.
Yeah,
Maybe he could have just gone to Cowie and just said, hey, I don't want to waste your time and my time. I'm not happy. I'm miserable. I miss home. I'm homesick. Whatever. I got to go. Like, can we just do this in the nicest way possible?
Do you think he would try to put something together with the KTM group?
I mean,
Because he's not racing SMX. He's announced that. There has been no announcement of a departure or a separation.
I think I saw something today that just said they've mutually parted ways.
no way.
Oh, I didn't see that. I just saw he wasn't racing SMX.
I thought I saw today, it might have been a Racer X or something, but I might be wrong, but it was something along the lines of, pull it up real quick and you could tell the wording, but I think I saw it just earlier.
I just saw the thing of him not racing SMX.
Yeah, but I thought well, do you guys read more than the first sentence?
Not
Yeah,
really.
it says Jorge Prado and Kawasaki mutually
follow that stuff
decided
so
that he will
much.
not participate in the upcoming playoffs.
Okay. Well,
There's-
I jumped to
So I'm saying there's nothing
mutually.
and you tuned out. Oh, he left.
That's my
Saw that coming.
that's my brain going off on a tangent. But to me, if they mutually decided not to do this, they're going to mutually decide to part ways. There's no way. I mean, think about if you're Monster.
With KTM,
hold
who's with
Monster
KTM?
forks up a lot of money for that team.
Yeah.
And Anderson's been, also another one where you're like, what's going on?
I know.
There's no transparency there. And then you got Prado. Like, if I'm certain people involved in that team that go, man, I fucking forked up a lot of money and I'm getting fucking shafted on this one. The fact that he's not doing these televised playoff rounds for a team that needs any television time they can get,
Yeah.
there's obviously a lot happening behind closed doors that we're not aware of and that maybe most people are not aware of. I know there's always a journalist or two that thinks they know, but that's not, like, it's over. Let's
Yeah.
just be honest. It's
There's no
over.
coming back from it. I mean,
There's going to be an official we part ways.
so do you think he tries to lock in with an Austrian, either KTM or Gas?
Well, that's where he had his success. I mean, he was KTM Gas, same difference.
Yeah.
They just wanted one team on orange and one on red. But that's what he knows, and he's done well at. So if he's down in the slums right now, just struggling and mentally ruined, two things that he could probably think of to make things better: go back to GPs and ride for the brand that made me a multi-time world champion. I mean, that's all I could think of. Unless they're hiding something else. But
Which riders are locked in for KTM next year?
Well, Eli and AP. So they'd be adding a third guy. Probably wouldn't have a whole lot of money for him. I mean, even if they could do it, it's still, even if you didn't pay a guy anything, the budget
It's still massive.
to take that bike to the race, get a mechanic.
It's a few $100,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So in their position also,
What's happening with Gas next year? Is that done?
I haven't heard that. That's the one interesting.
Gas?
Because
I'd
love
Malcolm
to
is
know.
staying and RJ are staying with Husky.
They are okay.
That's
So they
the
got two locked in.
Yeah, but Bosch is going to Ducati.
That's what it sounds like. But I heard they were getting rid of the gas
Whole
line.
deal. Okay.
Race
I was talking to some of the people at KTM, and it's like what they've heard, but nothing official. But it sounds like, because some people are saying, oh, Gas is going away as a brand. They're like, no, it hasn't sold that well in recent times. So it's going to be a smaller, allocation or import to the U.S. But the race team, as far as we know at Gas is not happening.
Oh, it's not.
That's what I was told.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what
TLD's
I heard too.
with Ducati, right?
Yeah.
So that's
So
what them, one of
it's
their main
going to be
sponsors.
KTM, Red Bull KTM, and Rockstar Husky.
TLD Gas, which is Red Bull involved in that?
It's
So
gonna be Red Bull.
that's one that's a little weird because we were talking about it, but Ducati Racing has a deal with Monster. This is obviously a new venture or a new team since that contract was done.
Because
So
surely
again-
Bosch is staying with Red Bull, unless that's...
Well, Troy's probably tighter with Red Bull
Oh,
than,
yes.
than Bosch.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but
Yeah, he is.
I think it's more of a Troy thing. But if this is a new venture, and, a lot of times I think people think, oh, Ducati has all the money in the world. And I go, because they're a high-end product, they're not mass-produced, and they're not anticipating on selling many bikes. I actually got a little insight because I inquired about being a Ducati dealer. And they basically said, look, for 2026, we need 400 bikes in the U.S. to be homologated. We've talked to 100 dealers that are committed to 4 of each. And that's pretty much what we're doing. Moving forward, we'll chat.
Yeah, because
No
they want
way.
to train. Every dealer has to be trained. You got to go through their class on the engine and everything else. So
The Italians like to do things. You could say right, but I sometimes go, they just do it the Italian way.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. In a lot of ways, it is right. It's just it's a lot. They're extra with
It's
it.
interesting.
Yeah, so
Okay, we won't get to the end of the MX donations. We'll hit that in the next show because it's still a little ways away. But MXGP, last thing I want to touch on. You got Fevre and Kunin, 835 to 804, 3 rounds to go.
I don't like predicting these.
We talked about it last time, and it
I
was kind of
know.
like, oh man, I don't know.
Kunin, he sends it. So he's the cow right now, crash or win. But Fevre has also made a couple mistakes lately because Hurlings is riding good. I mean, they're all pushing each other. I wouldn't want to be a betting man. I don't know their personalities well enough, but I hope it's a dogfight.
31 points, though. That's pretty fat.
It is.
That's a pretty good cushion. If he doesn't botch something,
But
have a big crash.
I was trying to remember. I think I was more than that down in 07 with 3 rounds to go, and the other guys like Ferry and Short, and then they just started self-destructing, and it's amazing if you go and get the whole shot and you start winning, and other guys don't get the whole shot. You got to play a little mind games. I don't know. If I was Kuhn, I would line up next to Fevre, get the jump, chop him off, make sure he's buried, and make him panic.
Well, it'll be fun to watch. It's close. I've heard a couple of weird rumors that Geyser might go to Ducati. Have you heard anything about this?
I haven't been in touch with the F. I just kind of follow Flandrin quite a bit, and then I haven't been.
So there's
too
been
in touch with FIM too
multiple
much.
rumors, which is Vial maybe going to HRC.
Yeah.
It was Vial, right?
Vial, yeah.
And then
That's the chatter, according to in-the-know journalists.
But then there's also the chatter that Hurlings is going to HRC.
Yep.
And then they've got Geyser, who if they let him go, to me, that would be one of the dumbest decisions they made. But, as much as I think Honda's a great brand, they pissed off McGrath.
They made some
pissed
weird
off
decisions.
Carmichael. They pissed off Rossi. And they've paid for it. So you would think that they would know better not to let Geyser go, because if he goes somewhere else with a chip on his shoulder, if I was a betting man, I'm putting my money on him as a 2026 world champion. But I feel like it's musical chairs. Someone's going to be left without a seat. And I don't know who it is right now. So it's interesting.
What about DeWolf coming here? I heard he's been talking to Mitch.
But he's on the contract for next year.
Oh, yes.
I've heard
okay.
the same rumor, and
I'd love to see that.
some of the European journalists have said he's under contract. He's even said he's under contract. Now, is he maybe talking just to get the ball rolling. Because think about it nowadays, how sports work with contracts.
It's
you
8
need
months
to
out.
you need to be planning now for a year from now.
Yeah, 27.
So, hey, I'm sure they've had conversations, and what happens is anytime anyone sees anyone talking, they try to fill in the blanks, and then, that's how rumors start, too.
I hate this silly season shit anyway. It's so dumb.
But
it's like,
if DeWolf did come
we'll know when we know. Like, I know guys just like to sit around and
stuff.
yeah.
But I think him coming over, again, would be great. I mean, the guy can fucking ride a bike.
Yeah, he gets it.
And
I heard the Coonan brothers were coming, too. That was from a pretty reliable source.
Yeah.
It was a guy who was their agent at the time.
That would be so bad.
And he's like, they're coming 2 years. And that was a year ago. But
he's still their agent.
Yeah?
Oh, wait. Did something happen recently?
No, it was before he was with them.
Well, they were also rumored to come and race, I think it was Southwick or something.
Hey, I will say this. This is interesting to me. 2 Ducatis going to be at the Designations. Antonio Caroli
for
is
Italy.
racing
He's
for
racing.
Italy.
No ways.
Yeah, he didn't do Ironman, right? He did Southwick and Redbud. Yeah, so he hasn't raced Ironman. But,
That was on a stock bike, right? Like, pretty much a stock bike. I mean,
pretty much. They don't have a lot of work stuff, for it.
I think that's part of the reason he did it. Like, they had I believe it was an electrical issue.
Yeah.
Someone was saying it might have been from when they were power washing the bikes, and you know how sensitive these things are. You got a big pressure washer getting the mud off. Everything has to be freaking locked tight, snug.
That's what happened
covered.
to Dungy's bike at Southwick that one year, remember?
Yeah.
That was like soap.
Happened to my bike in 01 at Mount Morris. It was super muddy that day, and my bike didn't run, and I won first 4 motos in a row, and the next moto I'm standing in the line with my hand up, and they had this like 2-minute rule, and I'm like, what's the problem? They're like, we don't know. And then I remember my mechanic's like, we just got to change the spark plug. And they were fucking going through everything, and they kept holding, and I'm like, this is the longest 2 minutes of my life.
did you get racing?
Yeah, but the bike was just like I never
These
let off.
days.
You can have a spare bike now, right? If something like that happened, the guys could roll the other one up. Or is that just Supercross? Because they tech 2
These
bikes.
guys either make up rules as they go along, or they change them so often I can't keep. You'd have to ask a mechanic, because he's probably the only one that actually knows the answer to that question.
Yeah, I know they do in Supercross.
But anyway, I think Donations will be cool. Just not to get in the teams and that. They're still announcing it, so maybe next time we can talk about who we think is strong. But Donations is a cool, unique event, and you got to do it for South Africa. I got to do it.
Oh, did you?
2018, but dude, it was funny in
Redbud.
South Africa, and we have. I can't remember the last time I rode in mud growing up in South Africa. And I came over here. I was so pumped. I came over early. I was training with Swanee and Plessinger and Oldenburg. And, like, in training days, it's all kind of close. And I'm like, dude, I'm feeling so good. I was so excited. I just came off my double championship in South Africa. Like, I was feeling good. And I was riding good.
And I gave you some good advice.
Yeah.
Make the fucking A main.
So, dude, we get there. The 2 days before, we had this practice track. And I'm like, dude, I'm feeling so good. Next minute, it starts raining for 3 days straight. 3 days straight of rain. Like, you got to be joking. And I remember the first gate drop. I came in the first corner. Dude, I got sprayed so hard with mud, it got underneath my goggles, inside my eyes. I raced the whole first race with one eye closed. Like, one eye was shut closed. And then we went straight to the B main.
That's what most losers do.
Yeah. Dude, I came from 25th.
Like there was
on the
another
first
option.
lap.
So anyway, we went right to the
Straight.
B main.
We transferred
25th.
straight to the B main.
I went 25th to 5th. All I had to do was pass Wyndham. I got right there.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
dude,
remember.
2 laps to go. I tucked the front in a corner trying to, because we had to get 4th. My teammate was winning, and we had to get 4th. And Wyndham was the next one ahead. And I came from 25th to 5th, caught right up, and then. So it was a very bad MX Nations experience for me.
Yeah, that's right, because if you can qualify through the B main, right?
Yeah. So I think
really?
there's 2. Yeah. So my teammate was winning, and like I said,
Because Wyndham rode for Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
With
Him,
Pastrana
Pastrana, and one other.
and
And all we had to
Sipes?
do was get, and Sipes, that was it. And then all we had to do was get him. And dude, I went from the 25th on the first lap to 5th place.
So did they get in?
Puerto Rico qualified.
That was exciting.
I think they were the last team because the
2
crowd
laps to
went
go,
nuts.
and Wyndham was right there, dude. I caught right up. And so no,
The
there was
old
no
classic
fun.
Puerto Rico South Africa battle.
Dude. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like everything. I'm like, this was just it was just the cards are not. Last time I rode mud, I think I was like 13 years old.
It's got to be weird for a guy like Joe Shimoda, let's say. He's riding for Japan. But he goes, I said, how do you guys think you're going to do? He's like, we just need to make the A main. He goes, I think Japan's only made it a couple of times in the last however many years, And it would be weird to be a guy at that level. And you're just like, no.
You have to align your
We're
teams.
in the B main, Whatever. I've never even been to one. So I'm going to Ironman this year. It'll be cool.
I think I want to do like the atmosphere that it makes the nations is something so different.
It is fun.
It's such a different atmosphere.
In fact, like 07 Budds Creek, I really enjoyed that because I remember a bunch of South Africans came out and they were camping and we were hanging out Saturday evening. And I still remember New Zealand had a miserable qualifying day. So Townley and I forget who was on the team. I can see his face, but I can't. Skinnier guy. But anyway.
Hurley.
Yes.
Daryl Hurley.
And then there was another guy. But anyway, they had some bad luck, and they didn't qualify. And I remember I went and hung out with the group of South Africans. They come halfway around the world, and a lot of these people. And so we were hanging out, having a good time, barbecuing. And the Kiwis were coming through with their big flag on the back of mules. And there was all this trash talking and all that, but it was like in the funnest way possible.
Yeah.
And we got in there, and everyone's wearing a Team South Africa, and then there was the Aussies came in, and the Estonians and the Russians, and everyone was there, and everyone was talking shit, but then high-fiving and pouring each other drinks. It just brings a really unique side to the sport, which sometimes I get almost like bummed out when I hear guys, I don't want to go to Europe and do it. I've had a long season. I'm like, I get it. Trust me, I totally get it. But it's special, and that's, like with Carmichael, I respect the shit out of him. That guy did not have to carry the flag every year, but because there were a lot of other good Americans that could have gone in his place. But he went every year, and he rode his heart out. Him and Everts had some great battles. Like, those were fun times. And I think the problem, too, was the FIM started really separating themselves from America. And it really took for the 07 donations to give the Americans that, like, proud to be an American, we're here to win and kick ass. We need that, and the fact that they're coming back every few years is keeping. I feel like it's helped build the bridge between Europe and America, which was slowly fading away. So I'm glad it's going to be there. It's cool that it's at another U.S. track. I think it's always nice when they can move around a little bit and give, if you think about it, it's not that far from Budds, but it's going to entice a whole new demographic that watch moto that'll drive there. From the Midwest to the central part where the tennis, you could 8-hour drive. You can pull a lot of people. So I think it's cool and good for the sport and
that'll be fun.
good for that camaraderie.
Well, boys, thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
It was a mellow chat tonight, but it was good.
Did we offend anyone?
No.
We actually did pretty good today, I think. You want to say something off color right now? Just for
End it off strong.
just finish it with a big.
Yeah. Now I'll save it for another time. I'll save
Thanks,
it.
boys.
Well,
Good
Caleb,
to be
thanks for coming in, dude. Appreciate it.
That's good.
I'm impressed you could sit down for that long.
That did good, eh?
I know
proud of you.
that's the longest I've seen you sit still.
His
I did
legs
good.
are starting to shake right now. He's like
The couch is vibrating.
Dude, I was at Glen Helen all day today. I'm chilling now. Actually, this is good.
All right.
You
Drinks
need
ready for a
another.
nap.
You need another Code Red.
Yeah, pour yourself up one. Hey, I want to thank our sponsors, Langston Motorsports. If you guys need anything, 2 wheels, 4 wheels, gear.
Coming soon, Honda.
Ooh, you heard it here first. And they're big enough to stock it, and they're small enough to care. So,
Oh,
yeah,
he's got that one dialed.
Yeah.
And thanks to our boys at Ethica. And thanks for watching. See you next time.